All right, what's next, Xander?
Okay, last one. This is sort of a meatier topic and a lot of numbers, so I'll try and be articulate and clear. We're going to talk about Snap's earnings and revenue trends. Their revenue increased 21% year over year in Q1 to $1.19 billion versus $989 million Q1 last year. ARPU globally increased from 2.58 to 2.83. That's a meaningful growth in ARPU. They also reported adjusted EPS at 3 cents per share versus an analyst estimated minus 26 cents per share. Now, if you actually look at what adjusted EPS is, it removes stuff like stock-based compensation, payroll, other expenses, depreciation, amortization, and other things that may impact income. Or as Charlie Munger famously said, EPS is a good way of saying bullshit earnings. So I would say take that one with a grain of
The word adjusted does a lot of work there.
You did a lot of heavy lifting. Notably, their operating losses were $333 million this quarter, down about $30 million from this quarter last year. Okay, interestingly though, this is what was actually interesting to me. Their DAU was up about 10% to 422 million. So that's pretty meaningful growth. So I was reading a lot of analysts and listening to podcast stuff. People were talking about how this is such a super gangbusters quarter for Snap. I think I'm a little bit more moderated, but it is meaningful growth in a lot of important sectors. Notably, DAU increased meaningfully, ARPU increased meaningfully, and they also have a subscriber package, which has increased from 3 million subscribers a year ago to 9 million, which is interesting. I have a few more thoughts, but Warren, top line, what do you think?
Yeah, when you posted these numbers, the first thing that I looked to, I tried to kind of get the other side of the coin, are to what are we seeing in the trenches with UA performance across networks? And about a year ago on this podcast, we were talking about how Snap had been like an overperformer to kind of come from behind. That is not the case right now. Snap is stinking again for UA performance across the Uptick portfolio relative to other ad networks. We talked about this recently for Facebook, which was basically they're just charging their advertisers more for the same result. I see indicators of the same trend here at Snap, which is like, okay, cool. DAUs grew by 10%, but average revenue per user grew by 13%, which, I know subscriptions are part of this, but my gut is that it's similar to what I think Facebook is doing, is they're just turning up the knob of the margin that they're taking on advertising from advertisers as well, leading to worse results for those of us in the performance marketing sector like Uptick. So that's the main thing that caught my eye in the numbers, Xander. I'm not sure if my tinfoil hat is correct here, but I think the data points in that direction.
A few other thoughts. While ARPU was up globally, it was down 1% in North America and up 19% in rest of the world. So
most of the growth is coming outside of US.
Yeah. And that's also the case for DAU increases, where they saw 34% rest of the world, where it's only 18% growth in the US. It's interesting that they're diversifying, right? Because I think they've largely been a North American phenomenon. And so this shows that there's growth, but they're also, rest of the world users are generally just less valuable than North American users. So I guess bullish in that they're still seeing growth. It seems like they've saturated the North American market, but overall.
Yeah, and maybe something I don't know much about is like, what is Snap's own marketing and expansion strategy? Like the data points that they are maybe moving away from the red ocean in US and tier 1 markets, and perhaps they are doing more of their own marketing for their product. And the data seems to show they're building a presence in some of these markets where maybe it's not as winner take all with Instagram and TikTok, or winner take most in those markets.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, with all the drama about TikTok in the news, maybe they see more global opportunity there. We'll see. They were one of the original video platforms, right? And so it's theirs to lose. Although, how often do you use Snap? The thing about Snap is so my sister is 11 years younger than me. Her generation lives on Snap. I never use Snap. I haven't used Snap in years, but I think it's just a different cohort, right? And that's a cohort which, in theory, if they stick with the platform, is going to age up in earning power over time. So,
and until the future is written for TikTok, I think Snap still has thesis to remain in your growth marketing stack, again, speaking from a marketer standpoint. But eventually, I don't know, if TikTok wriggles out of this one, I don't know that I see a long-term bull case personally for Snap here for future growth.
Yeah, I don't know. These will make really good shorts. So if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube and Instagram, go do that. You can listen to all our shorts.
Yeah, as always, the podcast is brought to you by our team here at Uptick. Here at Uptick, we do games growth. We take great games and we bring them the right players. We love doing that work. We love helping out game developers. If you are building a cool game of any size, reach out to us and we're happy to see how we can help. You can reach us through our website. That's uptic.com, UPPTIC.com.
I feel like your plug's getting more deranged every time. Talk soon.